Etsy rolled out gift mode, and we've got a little bit of an update from Etsy as far as how has it went so far since they rolled it out. And I believe that they gave us a 2-week or a span of 2 weeks as far as what it's done. So Chris, if you could pull that up for us and we can take a look and see what kind of data do we have? Like, what are the results so far? And it looks pretty good to me right here. So let's take a look. Let's dig in.
So, but before we get into this, Scott, the article here gives us a little bit of an insight, but I know the complaint when they first announced gift mode was that they were doing this, they were rolling this out. It wasn't going to be useful for anybody. And they blew, what was it? $7 million, $9 million on a Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
That wasn't going to have any impact on anything because only men watch the Super Bowl and yada, 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 right? We heard every excuse in the book as to why this won't work. And this doesn't necessarily tell us that it's going to work long-term, but let's use that 9 million number, right? They spent $9 million on that Super Bowl ad. It's the biggest push that they've done for that. If that's what resulted in these 6 million visits, that's pretty good ROI in terms of a cost per visit, right? The question that I would have on the back end of this is how many of those turned into sales? And we can do some rough math based on what we know, but there's not really a huge reason to do that. The real win here is that in the first 2 weeks after they launched that, and I love that they keep saying AI powered because it's a buzzword and it's utterly meaningless in this context. Gift mode sees 6 million visits in the first 2 weeks. So they're saying nearly, I don't know if that's 5.99 million or, it's like 5.6, who knows, but it's well over 5 million visits and uses of gift mode in the first 2 weeks. And we know based on their Q4 report that we covered and we broke up into some different sections, they are going hard after the gift market. And they have a very tiny fraction of it right now. Their entire goal is to become the go-to place on the internet for gift giving. Do you think, based on this number, that they are off to a good start? Is there something that they can do to improve this? Or is there another metric that you would like to see that makes you feel like they're making a positive step in this direction?
No, I mean, that's pretty impressive. Again, we have to look at the Super Bowl. How many people tuned into the Super Bowl? Was this from the Super Bowl ad? Was it from, they have aired it since the Super Bowl. I've seen it myself. And is it just from that, or is it now because it's being, posted on certain, news sites that are announcing it? I know that I believe the CEO went on a couple of shows and he talked about it. So regardless, 6 million visits, in first 2 weeks. I think that's a pretty good start. I think it's a good start. And I think it's an opportunity. And if you go to the website and you look at the homepage now, you can see they are making that really eye-catching, but also almost like you're plugging in. And I know, Chris, you and I both have been in the marketing world for years. When you get people to start clicking, even if it's just to go next, guess what that does? It gets you to click the buy button too, or the add to cart button, right? You're getting in that thing. So there's a little psychology that's going into that as well for them to say, like, who are you buying for? Boyfriend. What's the special occasion? Anniversary. How old is he? Between 30 and 45? Click. Yes. Right. Boom, boom, boom. So you're basically building a profile for them to go find the perfect gift, but you're also in that mode of clicking. Right. So that's just something that I thought I would throw out there that I find interesting, is that it's a great thing for them to harness and become like, they're going to be the king of that, right? Or at least try to be, of the gift giving. So my advice to anyone right now, because this is traffic for everyone, not just for like one category or whatever, it's for everyone. There's a lot of different things that we can use this for. And I'm looking at it as a seller is like, if my item is a gift or could be given as a gift, you bet your bottom dollar that I'm going to be putting gift somewhere in my listing. So it gets picked up to be then put into this gift giving mode, little AI generation thing, so that's how I see it, Chris. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a good thing.
Yeah. And I think people are freaking out because it's a different way of approaching this, right? And Etsy's real goal here, based on what you and I have seen so far, Scott, like we said, is to turn more people into buyers, more visits into purchases, more purchases into repeat purchases.
Yeah.
How are they doing that? What is the secret to the AI-powered gift mode? it's a filter, right? It's helping them skip that first step of what I would argue is not a great search experience on Etsy. It is kind of hard to find exactly what you're looking for unless somebody has a really well-crafted listing and has been selling for a while, right? It's very easy to miss a lot of the things. And all this really is, all this gift mode thing is a filter over top of the search results. And kind of once you get to the end of that click tree that you were talking about, where it's like, hey, do they like this or this or this, right? It takes them to a custom filtered search results page. That's what they're doing, right? They're just eliminating the annoyance of going through the search results going, that's not exactly what I wanted. I wanted more like this. I wanted more like that. They're just layering in those filters through a really nice user interface. And what the CEO said was, it's not just an important product launch. It's a big difference from our normal approach, right? Where they say, hey, we do a lot of things incrementally. We figured we'd make a big swing. And it's part of that. And they get to the real reason at the end. And we talked about this. Yes, they have, 200 different buyer personas. And they talk about, crossword genius to the sandwich specialist. Cool. That's not necessarily relevant to sellers because what they're worried about is showing up at the end of that. How do they come in and what does this mean? But the real reason that Etsy is doing this is because they think they can become the go-to place online for gifting. And they said right now, Etsy US buyers spend about 2% of their $1,600 a year that they spend on gifts on Etsy. So it's only $38 a year. Well, if Etsy can double that to $70, $80, even $100, if they can increase it, then they increase their volume by 2 or 3x just by getting a little bit more of that gift giving market. So even if it's not a grand slam for them, if it's a dribble up the middle and they make it to first base here and they can only double, right? They go to $72 or $78 or $90. It's a huge increase in terms of the overall volume on Etsy. So Scott, with that mindset in mind, is this something that generally makes sense? And is it going to be useful for sellers in your opinion moving forward?
Yeah, I do. And I think, there's nothing really you're going to do differently other than if you have an item that can turn into a gift or be given as a gift, then make sure that you optimize for that gift, right? Personalization, I think, is going to be a big one. Gift in it somewhere, gift for garden lover, right? Garden lover gift, like those types of things. And then also strategically thinking about products you could create in your niche that could be given as a gift. I think so. That's what I'm taking away from this. This is what I think you should take away from it. But again, this is just our thoughts and our opinions, but I'm really excited about this. And I think it's off to a really good start with this gift mode. So I would take advantage of it.